Good afternoon and welcome to Padre's Pondering.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's good to be back.
I think it's been like 3 weeks since we sat here.
Yeah, I don't know what you've been doing.
Cam Perry was here talking about God's goods last week while you were working on some pondering in a different location. Then clergy retreat.
That's
and
right.
I was gone, so it's good to see you.
Yeah. Well, you must not want to be seen. You got on camouflage pants.
So today is, well, this week is Spirit Week across schools, and today is Camouflage Day. So when I saw that, I'm like, I actually have something.
Yeah.
I have classy camouflage.
Yeah, that would really. I bet
You wouldn't say that.
I bet your husband has some real camouflage stuff,
Yes,
though.
he does, but I'm not going to put that on. That's different. So, yeah. So this is Spirit Week again.
A lot of children over there all dressed up.
Yesterday was Pajama Day. Parents love that. You just literally roll out of bed and go to school. Today's Camouflage Day. I'm not sure what the rest of the week is, but they get
Tune in
excited
tomorrow.
about all that.
Well,
Yeah.
I bet so.
They get excited about that. So you can look, you can check it out because they post pictures every day on the Cross Schools Facebook page.
So they got some of the classes in the new building now?
The high schoolers are in the new building. I have not. Have you seen it yet? I haven't. I need to hop over there.
I went in there before they had all the furniture in it.
Oh, okay, but not since they've opened it. Well, we might have to go take a tour.
Yeah, I would like to do that. I don't need to go there when the children are all dressed up, though. I'll go after school.
Wait until the uniforms are back.
That's right. So what you got in your hand there?
This is the card for Wednesday night teachings, and you just figured out there's a backside.
I'd seen the front
Double-sided.
with Josh, what he's working on with
Yep,
Paul.
Josh with Paul, the apostle. Great teaching. If you have not watched that, go back and you can go to the website or you can go back to the videos on Facebook and
And this is
rewatch.
number 3
This will be week number 3
of 5.
of 5. And then on the back, Jonathan's. He's in two different series, God of Wonders and What is the Gospel? So that'll take us through April 6th. And then the following week is Holy Week.
So now Josh runs up to Ash Wednesday. Skip would, and
We
then
don't
we do
have
Ash
one for
Wednesday.
Ash
We have
Wednesday.
services Ash Wednesday. And then Jonathan's during Lent
And then we
for the
skip.
5 Wednesdays there, and then we have Holy Week. Okay.
And then it didn't fit on this card, and then Father Tom will be doing I think it's a 3-week series after Easter. So,
Great.
yeah. I know, it's already time for Ash Wednesday. It feels like we just finished Christmas Eve.
I tell you,
But
when you
we're in
move-
February.
That's right, and it's coming fast, even though Easter is a little bit later this year than it was. It seemed like last year was very early, but this year, middle of April, I believe.
17th.
Yeah, middle of April.
Yeah.
And this year it coincides with the Heritage Golf Tournament.
It does. The Heritage, I don't even, they change the name periodically based on the sponsor. But it's always called the Heritage, right?
Yeah.
Is Holy Week.
So we might have
We have some visitors.
some visitors for that sunrise service on Sunday for sure. But that's a big service anyway, though. That's a great service. I like that service a lot.
So Ash Wednesday, we'll have a service here. We'll have one at noon on the historic campus. Cross Schools at 2 o'clock. Here at 7, and this will be streamed.
This will be streamed, yeah. And I'll be doing the noon, and I'll have one of the fellows help me with that, another one to help me, but I'll be preaching and celebrating at the noon and 7 o'clock services. Start wearing the black cassocks again and purple stoles and purple color on the cross and no flowers, that kind of thing, windows closed.
So all throughout Lent, the windows on the historic campus are closed. I did not know that.
Yep. Closed because it's a time for introspection. Focus on what you're doing. Close the windows. Don't be distracted by what's outside. Focus on the inside. Yep. Down inside. Go deep within yourself. That's the idea behind Lent. Because until you get in touch with your own sinfulness, then you can't really get in touch with the value of the cross and the sacrifice. So that's what that's about. We'll do some liturgical things with that. The penitential office will do, and the exhortation and the 10 Commandments. We'll do all that during that time. And get you back in touch with things that we don't do all the time. But we'll hit them then. And then wind up that on Good Friday with the Stages of the Cross. and that'll begin at noon on the historic campus.
Which is the traditional.
Yeah,
with
and then
the
we'll do the 7 o'clock one over here, and that won't be
dramatic
streamed.
readings. If you have not, if you've never attended that one,
And we need to go ahead and start lining up
that's, as
people for that.
you're saying things, I'm like, ooh,
'Cause that's-
to-do list, to-do list.
Yeah, there's 14 readers in that.
That is just a fantastic service.
14
Pictures
readers.
on the screen or on the wall here from the Passion.
Yeah, that's real. We didn't used to have those pictures. Then Alex put all that together for us. So it's a great service. Lent's a good time during the year, it really is. And and the Easter and the flowers blooming. I don't know what the flowers are going to be doing this year with Easter. A little bit later, they might hit earlier. The azaleas and
Probably
all that.
will, yeah.
The weather kind of cold and warm, and that's going to fool the plants, and so it might be not maze of blossoms like it is sometimes. Sometimes it just rolls right together and works great. Other times it doesn't. Working on the annual report. We got to do that video here pretty soon, pretty quick. I want to do that. Have it ready
Annual
on the
report.
17th.
The ministry, different ministries are sending in their reports, so we'll be working on that in the next couple of weeks, and then the
That'll
rector's
be on.
report.
That'll be on the annual report. That
We'll put it in.
everybody puts in there. That's on the webpage.
That'll eventually, not yet, will be on the webpage and then the e-news coming up.
And then that'll be a video.
Lot to report on.
A lot.
And then do you also look forward? You do, don't you?
Yeah, I'll
So
recap
your
2021 and
recap
say a
then
little
look
bit.
forward.
Say a little bit about 2022 because it's just starting. But I'll look ahead a little bit. I want to speak about cross counseling. Then they want to speak about the faith formation initiative. Talk a little bit about that. Even though those haven't started yet, they'll be coming this year, so people can start praying about that. Might mention a little bit about East Argent. So there's some stuff coming. And then we got Nathan to be ordained. That'll be coming.
There's a lot of stuff going on. Always, I always say that. There is always a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
A lot of moving parts.
Yep. And in this past weekend worship services, said 4 families want to join the church, fill out their cars, want to join. And that's always a blessing. So we meet with those who makes those appointments for me. And good things happen, weddings, funerals, and just
Baptism's coming up this Sunday.
this Sunday, that's right, on the historic campus, 4 little ones being baptized over there. And I'll be preaching on Isaiah's call to ministry and hooking that into baptism a little bit. So it'll be good. I've got the sermon done. Have not learned it, but I've got it done.
How many hours of prep do you think per week? Well, you start weeks in advance.
Oh yeah. Because you got to be thinking about it, and illustrations and the scriptural work on it, tying in the different.
So when did you
passages
start
and all that.
this working on this sermon? Back in December?
End of December, after Christmas, and then I got it finished writing it 3 weeks ago, and then I've changed it twice since then. Changed illustrations and because illustrations need to work for. One of the things that you have to realize now is that when we're online, you don't know who's hearing it.
That's right.
And so your illustrations need to be able to be understood by a wider group of people than if you were just preaching at the historic campus or at Crosspoint over there, and you've got a fairly homogeneous population. You don't know who's out there. So I've been trying to make my illustrations a little bit easier to grasp without having to have a lot of background, a lot of knowledge. And that's not to say that the audience is not smart. It's to say that they don't have a commonality of their experiences. So if I might feel comfortable talking about World War II on the historic campus. For some people now, World War II, what was that about? Vietnam is old history if it was even taught. But we have a way now of just discarding the past.
typically this was at least my experience, in American history, you spend a lot on the beginnings, and then by the time you get to the end of the school year, you have to do a high-speed pass, and you never get to Vietnam.
That's right. But I think now that a lot of the books they don't even start there. They start at Vietnam, or maybe post-Vietnam, and focus on the years in between, yeah. Which is, I think, a great disservice to the rootage of our country and all that. You can't understand the present unless you've got a good grip on the past. The past is the foundation for it, you know. And, if you're building a ranch-style house, the first thing you do is put in the foundation, and then you build a house on top of the foundation. And the foundation predicates what you can put on it. See? Well, if you try to build with no foundation, you're building the house on sand. You know, it's just going to come down. And I think there's a lot going on today that's being built on sand. You don't have an understanding of yesterday, so how can you possibly grasp the realities of today, and much less think about the potential of tomorrow? I mean, it's like stringing beads without a string. You got a lot of disparate parts out there that are just rolling around the floor. You can't make sense of it.
So the very first leadership you just had 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. Had a good group in there, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. And that's what you start with, is kind of where the church started. Yeah. Same thing with confirmation. You start that to give the history of our specific church.
Oh, yeah. So you got a bunch of beads on your hand. What's the deal with all that?
I do. I don't know. I just threw on a lot of bracelets today. You're always very observant by what people wear.
I'm observant about
but
a lot of
this one
things.
says truth and love. It's a good reminder.
Your mama cleaned out her closet the other day, found all kind of things in there.
You know, periodically you need to do that. You need to go through and do a clean out and figure out, and you realize, wow, I didn't know I even had that.
That's exactly right, see? And
out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, and I told her that's the best shopping trip you can ever have, is to get in your own closet and look around in there. There's all kind of treasures. And see, the thing is, they were a treasure at one time because you invested in them. See? And you go back to your closet, you can think about those memories. You say, why did I buy that? And then, wow, that might look good on me now. Straighten up. The reason I thought about that was she straightened up her bracelets and stuff like, you know, she has some of those. They used to kind of all scattered around on a shelf in there. Now they're all neat. And so the pressure's on my side of the closet.
But the good part is, if you figure out, I forgot I had that, but I really don't want it anymore, you can take it to God's Goods.
Whoa, wasn't that a clever little segue?
Take it to God's Goods. That's right. They have as a matter of fact.
As a matter of fact.
They have an informational meeting this Thursday at 6:30 at the God's Goods complex if you're interested in volunteering. That's a great place to start volunteering. That and the food bank especially.
Yeah, meet a lot of people
Great way to serve.
And not all the volunteers there go to church with us.
No. No, you do not have to be a member of the church or even attend our church to volunteer with God's Goods.
Mm-hmm. And I expect that's the same way with the food bank, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, since your mom was straightening up the closet, the pressure's on.
She straightened up your side too?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
So now, I heard that phrase the other day. Everything has a place, and everything in its place. You know, usually I'd wear a sweater. I loved wearing sweaters, and then I'd take them off in the evening time and just cram them in the slot, you know, and fold them up neatly, threefold. So anyway, I'm working on that, you know. Little cross I got to work with there. But you know, I really ought to do better about that. But then again.
You're tired by the end of the day.
But then again, you know. And I'm on this thing now, you know, I like when I get home, I like to get a glass of iced tea. And so now, and after supper, Becky will bring me a bottle of water.
Oh.
Not a little one. And we'll speak about you ought to be drinking 3 of those or 4 of those a day. And I'm thinking, whoa, golly day. And people do that. You know, I see people walking around with a water bottle all the time. And I think part of it is just for show, just to for people to
Look how much I drink.
Yeah, kind of a, you know, how much where's your bottle? You're not drinking enough water. Kind of stuff like that, you know, you go. And they think, you know, if you drink a lot of water, then you never get wrinkles, but I think that's a lie. I think that's a lie.
They say you're supposed to, well, it used to be for a long time 8 glasses.
Think how much water that is.
It's a lot.
And when I think about the 8 glasses of water, I think about those people who don't have water over in the Sahara Desert and all that, and I say, you know, I got to do my part here. Conserve the environment. I'll do one if Becky's watching. But you know, all that stuff, and there was a man on the news this morning, and he was talking about stem cell research and how all these different things that have been wrong with him and different people. He just put out, he was on there talking about a new book he just put out. A famous man, I forget what his name was. But anyways, he tore the rotator cuffs stuff. And he said that doctors won't operate, and he said no, and he got a stem cell transplant, and in a few days his arm was better. And so he said now
So that's what the book's
he's
about.
70, I think he's 50, he's biologically 50, no. Chronologically, he's like 61, and he said biologically, I'm 41. Because of the stem cells. And I got thinking about that movie, Benjamin Button, where the guy goes backwards like this. And I'm thinking, is that what he is trying to do there? Stem cells take you backwards, and so.
Oh, boy.
You know, there's a lot of stuff out there.
There's a lot of stuff out there, and everybody's grasping for youth and hope, and
Yeah.
I'm going to be different, and they're missing
Got
the
my
mark.
got my haircut yesterday, and the fellow was in the chair before me. I got there a couple minutes early. He was in the chair before me. He must have been 85, and he was driving a BMW convertible.
It was, I hope the top wasn't down.
It was, I don't know how he
They're
got into
little,
it.
yeah.
You know, it was so low to the ground. No, the top was up, but it was a just shiny BMW convertible, low, slinky thing like that. You know, I looked him in that chair. I looked at that car out there.
That's his leg workout every day.
But you're right. People imagine themselves different than they are. And I think one of the things that Lent does, and one of the things that the Bible tries to do, is to help you see things as you are.
Right.
See?
Filthy rags.
See things as you are. And as you play these games of hide and seek with yourself, see, then it's a great deception game. That's when you don't get in touch with your real self and with the real Lord. But that's another story. So
That was a good little segue from the.
sometimes
Very good.
sometimes I can sneak one in, you know. But that's one of those things, like working with a sermon. Like I'm always thinking about what it's going to be. Like I've been thinking about an Easter sermon. And I'm thinking that, you know, we have a lot of people come to church on Easter morning. Mm-hmm. And we won't see them again until next Easter. Mm-hmm. There are a few double dippers who come Easter and Christmas, but there's a lot of Easter people you don't see again till the next Easter. And so I was thinking about maybe coming at Easter with not Easter morning, but Easter evening. Mm. And use the Road to Emmaus passage and the idea that you can't live on the resurrection event, you have to live on the risen Christ. And that somehow or another come that way. I haven't figured out how to tie all that together again, but that's the group I'm thinking about this year, is the people who come on Easter and we don't see them again. And they've heard that Easter story over and over and over again.
It's true.
But they don't obviously connect it to the rest of the year. Right. And that's what happens with the fellows on the Road to Emmaus. So anyway, I'm thinking about that.
That's one of my favorite passages, just to think. They're walking with Jesus. Jesus is teaching himself in the Old Testament, what they would have known.
Yeah,
And then their hearts were ablaze.
yeah. So I'm thinking about coming at that. I don't know how that'll work out, but it might change again. But anyway, if you don't, it's in here where it starts. And some fellows, they start here. And you can't, it doesn't work for me. I need to have something in here
That pondering.
before I can get my thoughts in order. And then I can start to do a little something. Don't do this much anymore. Make my
Type.
notes like this, but I'm pecking away. Getting pretty good at it.
Do you use two fingers? Well, then you're pretty skilled on the two fingers then.
Yep, I can do that. I use my right finger most, but I do two fingers. Yep, that exclamation point's right there.
Said the one.
They're right up there. Boom, right up there. Yep.
I have a Bible study starting on Friday. We have 30, I think I counted last night, 34 women signed up on Zoom, some of them from different locales, coming together. Lots of new names on the list. I'm excited about that.
And this is on James.
James.
It's a tough
Short,
one.
5 chapters, short, but
So is it
man, it's
5
chock full
sessions?
of, it's actually 8.
All on James. Is it too late for people to sign up for that?
Nope, you can still sign up. I need to know before Friday morning, but you can sign up today or tomorrow. It's on the website, on the calendar. Just go to the events calendar, February 11th, and the sign up and information's all right there. So looking forward to that.
Yeah. And do you have a number of people that you've had before?
I have a good core group that we've actually been together for 2 years now on the Zoom.
But each study stands on itself. You
Each
don't
study
have
is,
to-
yes,
there's
it
not a carry
stands on
forward.
its own. But we've bonded. Who knew it would happen? I did not. We were just feeling the need during COVID. And then when the isolation ended and we started coming back together, a lot of people were like, I really kind of like this. Can we stick with it? Yes, we can. And we didn't want to leave behind our friends from different locations. that
I
have
think
been
that's one of the
joining us.
neat things about it is you get on the Zoom and you're there with people from all different geographical locations, and you get to build relationships with them. And are you doing one where you split out into?
We start out in a whole group. I'll do a little bit of a teaching for about 20 minutes, and then they split into I split them up into small groups. So they're in a small group for about 40 minutes.
And so you could be in that small group.
A couple of groups have been together for the 2 years.
That's
So,
great.
Yeah.
But in the small group is where you really get to know the people from
That's
elsewhere.
where you get to know each other, and that's where the encouragement to stick with it is in there, and helping each other. Like if you've been wrestling with something all week in the study or in Scripture, then you can talk about it. And I've been pleasantly surprised at the format, because really we just thought it was a temporary, just for now. But
And the
been a
format of it
blessing.
is the same that you started COVID with?
we've been all through the Old Testament together, so it's really neat.
I think I'm going to quit saying that word COVID. I'm through with that.
I think so too.
I'm through with that.
You're through. You're done. Scrap it.
Oh, I don't need to honor it with giving it a name anymore.
I know, and we've
Just
been
call
doing
it.
this for so long. You realize 2 years in March. So a lot's happened in 2 years. A lot of great things have happened in 2 years,
Really,
and that's what we need to look at.
really.
Yeah.
And those 2 years are like that foundation to the house. Those 2 years have set a foundation in a lot of different ways.
A lot's
for
changed.
For 2022 and the years to come. Really. There's been kind of a winnowing thing in there too. In many ways, as we're rebuilding these ministries and rebuilding the volunteer pool and all that kind of stuff. How are we coming with volunteers for the 9 o'clock service? We getting close on that?
We are. We are.
Target date?
With the tech, we're looking at maybe Palm Sunday. Maybe.
So that'd
At
be-
Cross Point is the 9 o'clock he's talking about.
Yeah,
Maybe.
that'd be good. But that's a symbol of this idea of regathering, rebuilding volunteer teams when people have been out of the habit of being present for a long time, rebuilding those volunteer teams, and everything runs on volunteers. And it's slow going because some folks just have to break bad habits they've picked up.
But
they
we
were
also,
necessary habits, but now they're not necessary.
but we also have a lot of new people to bring in to the fold as well, and that's we have some tech people, volunteers that are shadowing in the next 2 months. Two of them were here last week. Will be here this week. So
Great.
bringing in some new people too. So that's exciting.
Oh, yeah. A lot of places to serve.
Yeah.
A lot.
Got some exciting stuff about the food bank. Can't make an announcement yet, but we'll hopefully be able to make an announcement about that soon. Ministries are expanding and multiplying, and that's a
And
wonderful thing.
How's Elizabeth coming with the pastoral care?
Pastoral care. We're calling it care ministries now. A lot of people don't know what pastoral care means.
So care
It's not
ministries.
in the everyday vernacular anymore.
And we had the dinner ministry.
Dinner ministry is hopping. They had a lot of people sign up for time and talent, and
And who's
they
in?
are helping. I know that they brought a meal today for somebody and tomorrow. So that's Pat Roth and Deb Fuller are in charge of that.
Deb was at the leadership
The
training
leadership
last time.
training, yeah.
Pat was last time.
So lots of great things, lots of great things. So if you're interested in serving, on the website, I'll try to remember to put it in the comments when I leave here. You don't have to wait until November to sign up to serve in a ministry. There's always a tab ready on the website for you underneath the serve section. So I'll put that in there if anybody's interested in starting to serve.
Oh, yeah.
So
And that idea, you don't have to wait till November. November, we do the time and talent. And November is really a time for if you've been in a ministry and you figure, well, I want to try something different. That's a time to just, I want to do something different. And you sign up for that different then. So it's like like if you start working with food bank now, you don't have shackles put on your ankles to keep you there forever. We do ask you to try it, stick with it till November, and then bail out and go to something else. But everybody ought to be serving somewhere all the time. You ought to be in Bible study all the time. You ought to be in prayer all the time. And you ought to be present in worship all the time. So I'm through lecturing now.
So we'll end on that. Be in worship, be involved with a Bible study, and serve.
And prayer.
And prayer.
Yep.
And that's what the book of James is talking about, that put feet to your faith. I
like it.
Put feet to your faith. All right. Well, anything else? That was a good plug for everything right there.
Mm-hmm. No, just, I can't hug you if I can't see you.
It's true. I love to see people's faces light up at Cross Point when you come around and give hugs while we're singing.
Yep. And you just, if you can't come, don't feel like you're going to hell. Say your prayers and try to get there the next week and watch it online. Same way with the teachings and all that. And I like the fact that we're doing with Josh and these other Wednesday night things, that it's live, so people can come for that part of it. And when you come, then you got the fellowship. It's not just the teaching, you got the fellowship. But it's also there on Zoom, so for folks that can't watch.
The website, not Zoom.
Can't come, and what now?
Not Zoom.
No,
the
not
website.
yet. Not Zoom. All those different social media platform things. There's a bunch of those out there.
There are. Mm-hmm.
I was on this watching the news earlier this morning about people complaining about this website, GoFundMe and TikTok and some other one, the Rumble or something. I mean, there was just strange words. But anyway, they'll work all that out.
Yeah, we're not in those, though.
I'm not into that, no.
All right. Well, go in peace to love and serve the Lord.
Thanks be to God. See you when I see you. Never doubt God's love for you or mine. Blessings to you.